Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you an interesting story.
All right.
Okay.
Right.
If you don't have any boring ones, then tell us an
I
interesting.
think it's interesting anyway. My dad got promoted, and he moved from Watertown, where he was a clerk in the bank, to being manager of the bank in Madison. But they were so attached to Watertown and friends that oftentimes, very often, weekends were spent going back to Watertown and seeing their friends. Well, this one time, I went with them. My dad went down to the bank to talk to Dan Slattery and some of the old timers there. And Mother visited the lady that was directly across the street from where we used to live. So I'm sure that was a friendly relationship that they had. But outside of this big white house that they lived in was the biggest, shiniest, black, big wheels Model T Ford you ever saw in your life. And you know that they made the big wheels because Model Ts had to navigate the lousy roads that South Dakota had.
Huh.
There was only really one east-west road that was even paved. Everything else was unpaved. But anyway, so, well, Mother went in to talk to the people. I stayed outside and reestablished my friendship with the little guys that were my age that I played with. Now, they didn't know my name and I didn't know theirs, but we just, we were boys and we played. We got into trouble a lot. Well, this time there was this magnificent black, shiny Model T Ford sitting in front of the house, and the house was on the hill and it was down like that. And we got in that Model T, and one of us, and it wasn't me, in the Model T Ford, there's a big lever that you have to squeeze the top of, and then you let it go, and it takes the brake off. Well, we were in there, and the Ford started creeping forward, and all the little guys that were my age got out of there like rats. Like rats out of a sinking ship. But one of the boys had a little brother, and he wouldn't claim him. He wouldn't say, "That's my little brother." He didn't want anybody to know that. So the little brother stayed in the Model T. We all got down on the running board and jumped off, and the thing was rolling like this. And we turned around and looked up at him, and he was standing on the seat, and he could barely look out the window. And what he said, "I can't drive."
Oh, poor little guy.
And the Model T started going faster and faster. First we were walking along beside the Model T, and then we were running to keep up with it. And the lady who owned the Model T Ford spied what was happening. And she was wearing silk stockings, high heel shoes, had a hat with big brim on it, carrying a purse, started chasing this Model T.
Oh no.
That should have been right there. But the Model T got going faster and faster. And the little boy standing on the seat, his eyes got bigger and bigger. And I thought to myself, I think maybe if I were someplace else, I'd be better off. So I ran around to the back of that house and sat on the steps, cupped my hands like this, put my chin in my hand, and just kind of waited. And the Model T, of course, went faster and faster as it was going down the hill. And then, luckily, back in those days, there were a lot of empty lots because the developer of the land couldn't, was way ahead of the actual building of houses. The house demand wasn't so great. So there were a lot of empty lots, which were great for little boys. But the Model T Ford got beyond the house that was next to the house that we had the Model T Ford in, and there was an empty lot. And darned if that Ford just got angled enough so it jumped the curb and went back into that empty lot. Well,
Where was the lady in the high heels when this happened?
she was running into the empty lot to try to get her Model T started and get it out. But I got the hell out of there. And I was sitting on the back porch, sitting on the back steps, looking like I'd never seen a Model T Ford in my life.